Welcome to the Daily Review. This is Razak, Senior Trading Strategist here at CMTrading, and today is July 23rd, 2025, and today is Wednesday morning. So looking at the highlights of the day, we're watching natural gas continue to slide this week after having a massive gap down, so it's a gap and go to the downside. But first, no major economic events scheduled for today. However, we do have corporate earnings for some mega weights, including Google, Tesla, and IBM later today. Now, looking at the market, starting with the Forex symbols, the US dollar weakens versus some of the major pairs. And looking at the indices, the Nasdaq, unchanged, still unchanged, and showing no kind of remorse going to the downside. We'll take a look at that in just a second. Maybe it's just waiting for confirmation from some of the other big tech stocks. Looking at commodities, gold holding on to its gains. And looking at the stocks, we did see Netflix and NVIDIA sell lower yesterday, so there's some profit taking there. And lastly, looking at cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin remains unchanged. So let's take a look at the markets and see what we can expect from today's trading. So here we go. USD Canadian dollar. So it's really the Canadian dollar that I want to focus on. And we're looking at a daily chart of it, and we're going to expand it. So we've seen it just sell off from this resistance level 137 down to 135.90-ish level, and we are at supportish area. So this is super important. You can see that's a decent move on the downside, and this is just range bound trading, no big deal. And we saw also the GBP USD on the opposite. Okay, the dollar getting stronger because it's the inverse relationship. Okay, but it happens on the opposite and it's surpassing it. Now it is closing in at that 200-day moving average. We did have that crossover in a 4-hour chart, and we are still potentially hitting resistance area. Okay, so just keep that in mind. So we may see a turnaround here. Now looking at commodities, let's take a look at gold as it's holding on to its gains. Let's look at our daily at the upper limit here. So it's still very strong and very resilient. Now looking at crude oil, not doing much, tapering just a little bit lower. But natural gas, this is where it happened earlier this week. We had a decent gap down. Now double top last week at 356. A gap down and go down to 319. So for a week of trading, that is a pretty decent move for natural gas all in 1 week. So at this area, we potentially could get a bounce here because we are hitting supportish area. And you could see that at the RSI, you're kind of like leveling off here on the downside. So that's something to consider as well. Now, let's take a look at the US markets. The Nasdaq, really unchanged, okay, holding on to its gains and making even higher highs the day before. Okay, now looking at the daily chart, you could see it's just hanging on its record highs. However, if we do look at Netflix, there was a sell-off, a gap and lower and go lower, okay, which is relatively a new thing. But Netflix has appreciated so much, taking some money off the table, it's completely justified. And looking at NVIDIA as well, off of about 7 points from its all-time record highs, but still showing some strength. Okay, this doesn't mean it's going to $2 a share. It just means people are taking some money off the table. And looking at Google later today, coming out with the corporate earning results, showing a hammer formation, which is bearish. However, you don't want to get that confirmation until you see what happens in the markets. Now, lastly, looking at Bitcoin, just consolidating at its upper range, not doing much here. And so I would say it's unchanged, again, until it shows us some sort of breakout on either direction. This is Razak. I want to wish you guys a great trading day. Thank you.
My advice, this is the best time to trade.